Mass immigration in 2024 at a level never before seen in Canada. 2 million people a year Trudeau is bringing in. Just astonishing. 1 million are foreign students. Obviously, most of those are fraudulent or fake students. They're just paying tuition to come into the country. In addition to that, there's 750,000 temporary foreign workers who aren't so temporary. And why are we bringing them in? So that foreign multinationals like McDonald's or Tim Hortons, which is now owned by a Brazil mega fund, by the way, so they can save $1 an hour in salaries instead of hiring Canadian workers. And then we take fake refugees. So there are no actual refugees from India or Mexico, yet those are 2 of the biggest sources of refugees to this country. So you're not a refugee from Mexico. I wouldn't want to live there. Or parts of it I wouldn't mind, but you're not a refugee. It's all a scam, and we know it. Hey, did you see this insanity from Mark Miller, whose sole qualification for being immigration minister is that he was in Trudeau's wedding party? Take a look at this.
I've been getting questions about an individual that entered Canada and has been arrested in charges related to an attempt to cross the border for a terrorist plot. I can confirm that Mohammed Khan is a Pakistani national who entered Canada on May, or was issued a visa in May of 2023, and was given and entered Canada on the 24th of June of the same year, so 2023.
So yeah, he's in charge of not getting us killed. Good luck to us all. But people are getting fed up by it. We're still scared, I suppose, a little bit of being called racist, but not so much. So we laugh about things sometimes. Did you see the debate last night between Trump and Harris? Trump talking about how Haitian migrants are allegedly raiding pets in the town of Springfield, Ohio.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
Sort of funny, sort of crazy. It's a way of talking about immigration. By the way, our David Menzies is on his way down to Springfield, Ohio, to see what's up. You can follow him at a website we set up. I don't know if it's up now, but it'll be up by tomorrow, called thetruthaboutspringfield.com. And in Canada, we all had a laugh, sort of, about some of these millions of migrants just pooping on the beach, because that's what they do back home.
And I told my kids, if we're gonna go on the beach, watch out so you don't step in any human poop.
I've heard people are using tents and they're just like doing it in the sand so no one can see. I think it's really gross.
They're digging holes and they're pooping and putting tents up because they don't want to go to the washrooms. And I'm here to fact check that, because that's not a lie. So
it makes me not want to swim and not want to be on the beach.
To be a responsible parent, you should be showing your kids that you can actually throw out their diaper in the washroom, not bury it at a beach.
Some of it's just common sense. Like, why would you do that?
They dig a hole and they use it for their bathroom.
Can you imagine the police going to someone's home because you're talking about pooping on the beach? Not you doing pooping on the beach, but you're complaining about it, so the police come to give you a lecture and a threat because you're racist or something? Well, people have had enough. Even the Conservative Party, which is usually terrified to talk about immigration, is finally talking about immigration at least a tiny bit.
We will also secure our borders to make sure that never again do accused ISIS terrorists get into our country and become citizens of Canada, even after the existence of a video apparently showing that same terrorist mutilating a human body on a crucifix during the ISIS war of over a decade ago. These are the kinds of disastrous mistakes, radical approaches of the Liberal government that must end, so that we can replace their costly incompetence with our common sense.
But let me show you a poll by Leger, which has very interesting stats in it. Here's the poll itself. As you can see, it was commissioned by the National Post. It actually came out 2 weeks ago, but I think it's still very current, the numbers. The sample size was about 1,600 people. Look at page 5, some of these summary points. 2/3 of Canadians, 65%, believe the government of Canada will admit too many immigrants. Only 20% think it will admit the right amount, while 3% believe it will not admit enough. Not enough? Who's saying that? I guess those are the immigration lawyers. And look at the next point. Pretty obvious math, though Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland and Mark Miller don't know it. A majority of Canadians believe that the current immigration rates are contributing to the housing crisis, 78%. To stresses on healthcare services, 76% think that. And Canada's immigration policy is too generous, 72%. Sort of a mixed bag on Gaza refugees, which I think is insane, which shows we've forgotten 9/11, haven't we? But 64% of people are not confident that the government of Canada is thoroughly screening immigrants from the Middle East. So that implies 36% are fine with it. They must be deluded. Look at page 19 of the poll. Just 26% of Canadians think the government does a good job checking the background of new immigrants. Of course they don't. In fact, there really are no checks at all. There's no background checks, no meetings. You used to have an interview to become a Canadian. Not anymore. You just fill out a form online. I mean, you can't do 2 million interviews a year, so they do 0 interviews a year. I should point out that these poll numbers, worried about immigration, are vastly higher than the support for any single party. 60, 70% are opposed. And this is uniform across the country. Men and women, Quebec, English Canada, Atlantic, whatever. Everyone is united on this. And by the way, I don't even think people know how bad the problem is. One of the things this poll shows is that most people don't even know about the temporary foreign workers program. If you were to tell people that we're bringing in foreign workers to undercut people on the first rung of the ladder, of a career ladder, they'd be appalled. And if you talk about, and by the way, this poll is only about legal immigration. It doesn't even talk about illegal immigration, the people who walked across the border at Roxham Road, and the frauds and tricksters who claim they're refugees from places like India and Mexico.